it's the 10th of January, Sunday the 10th of January, and I am happy to share with you again on the second Sunday of a brand new year. I want you to hear the word of the Lord from Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 to 27. I think you may be familiar with some of these words, but let me share with you today. This is the word of the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons, this is how you are to bless the Israelites. Say to them, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. And the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. So they will put my name on the Israelites and I will bless them." This is the word of the Lord. Have you ever felt that you just needed a time of blessing and refreshing to move away from some of the realities in our world and on our continent? Let me tell you, friends, I need to do that. And I encourage you to take refuge not in pop culture, take refuge not in political persuasion, take refuge only in God's solid word. Numbers chapter 6, and the passage that I just read, or the portion that I just read, is known as the Aaronic blessing or the priestly blessing. I want to share with you today perhaps 6 links of a chain that will lead us to demonstrate the beauty of God in the life of his child. The first link in this chain is the Lord bless thee. I'm going to use that old English terminology because it just sort of rings with me. I just enjoy it, particularly in this blessing. The Lord bless thee. John Calvin said this. He said, "The blessing of God is the goodness of God in action." So it's not merely a collection of words. It's not merely a completion to a ritual or a service. It is the acting out of the goodness of God towards us. It is the eternal attitude of God towards us in active blessing. The Lord wants to bless us. I'm not talking about a health and wealth gospel here. I'm talking about the blessing of God that comes in so many different ways in our lives. Sometimes we're very much aware of the blessing, but sometimes we're not aware of it at all until perhaps sometime later. There are blessings of God that are with us that we know nothing about, to protect us from things that could have destroyed us. The blessing of God to allow us to engage in certain things that will bring us joy, satisfaction, and the knowledge that we are in his will. So this first link in the chain of blessing comes in the form of the words, "The Lord bless thee." Now this was a proclamation, remember, over a people. The second link in the chain is "and keep thee." The Lord bless thee and the Lord keep thee. The goodness of God is activated towards us, where he will stretch his hand over us with great care, just as that mother hen will gather her chicks under her wings, as Jesus talked about. So that's the way I want to protect Jerusalem, says the Lord. And so it is with us. It's the way he wants to protect us. If we would just come in under that protection, if we would just come in under that place of safety and security, oh, what a blessing that would be, for it now results in him keeping us. Many sayings from the old country have started to flood my mind recently. It wouldn't be unusual for me to hear from my mother, "Would you mind your sister?" until I come back from the shop. And what she really meant was, would you take care of her? Would you look after her? Would you mind her? Would you give her all that she needs for her protection and security until I return from the shop? And so as we see this picture of our great God and Savior who cares for us and minds us, he really minds us until we finish this journey road of life. Link number 2 is the Lord not only will bless us, but the manifestation of that blessing is that he keeps us. Link number 3 is the Lord make his face to shine upon thee. The Lord bless thee. The Lord keep thee. The Lord make his face to shine upon thee. When the face of God is turned towards us, we enjoy his full presence. The face of the Lord is often referred to as his very presence. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 37, Moses told the people of Israel that God led them from Egypt through his face, through his presence. And God makes his face to shine upon us as we receive his blessing through the radiance of that face of God now being absorbed in our face, to not only shine upon us, but to shine through us and to shine from us. To keep the light of God and the radiance of God shining in our lives, even when there's not much reason out there for us to shine. Jesus bids us shine, we used to sing, like a clear, pure light. In this world of darkness, so we must shine, you in your small corner, and I in mine. There's a real movement on these days for people to keep their Christmas lights up a lot longer than ordinarily they would do. They would usually take these down perhaps the 12th day of Christmas, perhaps at the beginning of Orthodox Christmas. They would take them down certainly maybe at the turn, not a certainly maybe, but certainly at the turn of a new year, those lights would come down. Now there's lots of people keeping their lights up. Why? Because in this particularly dark time, there just needs to be some kind of reminder that light still does shine. So the Lord bless thee, the Lord keep thee, the Lord make his face to shine upon you. And link number 4, and be gracious unto thee. When God's face shines upon us, there is pardon. It's about pardon. It's about grace, the grace of God given to us in abundance, provided for everybody, provided for all of his creation. It's something we can't purchase. It's something we can't negotiate. It's something we can't manipulate. The grace and the graciousness of God is given freely to us for the purpose of passing it along. Grace is the spontaneous gift of affection, the spontaneous gift of mercy, the spontaneous gift of compassion. Oh, gracious God, would you make us a gracious people? Gracious God, would you make us a people who are filled with the love and the compassion of yourself, so that when we leave this world, we will have blessed it not only by your presence, but by your presence living out your message through us. The Lord bless thee, the Lord keep thee, the Lord make his face to shine upon thee, the Lord give you his grace. And link number 5, the Lord lift up his countenance upon thee. It's not the same as the previous link, or the second previous link. It's different from his face shining upon us. His face shining upon us is different in that his countenance now, where he lifts up his countenance, he gives us a spiritual facelift, and he transports that to us. As Moses, when he came down the mountain after receiving the commands of God, his face shone with the presence of God. Like Stephen, who was stoned to death for daring to be a follower of Jesus, in that moment of death, his face shone like that of an angel. That's the countenance of God upon us. His face shines upon us to direct the possibility, and the countenance now that is placed upon us is the reality. Link number 6, and give thee peace. All the links in this chain of blessing lead to peace. Here's what the prophet Isaiah said in chapter 55, 12th verse. You will go out with joy and be led forth in peace, and the mountains and hills will burst into song before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. Instead of the thorn bush will grow the pine tree, and instead of the briars, the myrtle will grow. This will be a sign for the Lord's renown, for an everlasting sign which will not be destroyed. Listen, going out with joy is one thing, but being led forth in peace is everything. And it is strength, for the joy of the Lord is our strength. People, today I simply want to remind you that the joy of God is still available. The joy of God is not based on circumstances. The joy of God is not based on how we are feeling or how we are doing. The joy of the Lord is fulfilled when we have the peace of God that passes all understanding. There's a book entitled The Fields of France, and that book tells the story of how difficult it is for game hunters in a certain part of that country to pursue the deer that is roaming the fields in abundance. It seems like it would be easy to hunt them. Every May, the lily of the valley flower blooms like a carpet that is spread out over acres of this area, of hectares of this area of France. Field after field as far as the eye can see. And the scent of the game, the scent of the deer, is swallowed up in the scent of the flower of the field. And the hunters are in despair. And the deer, even though they can hear the deafening yelp of the hounds not too far away, they now have an ally in the lily of the valley that is greater than any raging stream or river that would separate them from the hunter. It's greater than the depth of any forest that would protect them from the hunter. And they stand there and they feed on the perfumed flowers in perfect safety and with great delight as the hunters and the hounds simply go home. I think that this Aaronic blessing, this priestly blessing, is really saying that. It's reminding us that God can put his hand upon us and he can provide for us a place of safety within earshot of all of the noise. He can provide us a place of refuge within earshot of all of that which would disturb us and cause us to give up. And we can feast in that field. Listen, the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1, reminds us that Jesus is described as the rose of Sharon and a lily of the valley. I say to you, to receive the blessing today. Stand and feast on the flowers of God's provision in safety and in blessing. And let the scent of God, let the scent, sweet smelling aroma of Jesus ward off the hunters, ward off the hounds as we remain in safety. Oh, listen, Charles W. Fry in 1881 wrote a hymn, and you will know it. I found a friend in Jesus. He's everything to me. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. The lily of the valley. In him alone I see all I need to cleanse and make me fully whole. In sorrow he's my comfort. In trouble he's my stay. He tells me every care on him to roll. Now listen, he's the lily of the valley, the bright and morning star. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. Oh, the Lord bless thee. The Lord keep thee. The Lord make his face to shine upon thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Lord willing, we'll talk again next Sunday. Bye for now.